It's that time again, guys. So you have to realize that when you go into your feelings, for example, your feelings are always telling you the truth. Your feelings are always telling you what it is in the moment that you need to do in order for yourself to do better. And then you have to realize some things about how I do things. You have to realize I communicate as much as possible so that I can live my life on a daily basis in the best kind of way. And now, of course, I have to do things with myself in order to understand things relating to everything. But you have to realize also that when you can express yourself, when you can really feel your way through life, I realize things start to open up. And now you have to realize sometimes being in the moment can be what's the word for it? Sometimes being in the moment can be ridiculed. Like you could start criticizing yourself for things that you are doing. And then you have to realize that there's always a way to overcome the situation that you currently face. And there's always a way for you to be in your feelings without having to smoke the vape, without having to do drugs, without having to do certain things that are going to bring you down. And you have to also understand that your feelings are always there for you and they're always telling you what's happening in the moment. But you have to also understand to be in your emotions. You have to be in your body. And now, where is your body anyway? Your body is in your feelings. It's how you feel day to day that you have to realize that's how important it is to understand that when you feel your way through life, you're going to understand something about life and you're going to understand how to live life because you're in your feelings. Your feelings are telling you and showing you the way. So if you really want to help yourself to do something special for yourself where you can actually help yourself grow, then the only thing you can do is to speak words and to really live in the moment. You have to realize all you're really trying to do is live in this moment even more. You're trying to be someone who can grow yourself in a daily basis so that you can understand much more about life. So if you realize anything about how you do things, you have to understand your feelings are showing you the way to everything. And you have to understand that it's just in how you feel. And because you can feel great, you can be able to feel great about yourself, you can actually do something with yourself to help yourself to grow. And now, when you're in your feelings, you're going to understand some things. You're going to understand how to actually live moment to moment. But you have to realize that's the whole thing about being in the feelings. Because you have to realize something about yourself and how you live in the moment. And you have to understand how it is to be in the moment, but also be in your feelings while you are living life. Because that's the whole point. The whole point is always to treasure yourself in a way that you're growing and that you can always do something today that's going to help you to understand much more about life. But you have to understand that there's always a way. There's always a way to live your life. There's always a way to do something remarkable in your life where you can actually help people to grow. And when you start helping people to grow as an individual, you start helping yourself even more to understand everything about life. And then you have to understand that there's so much information out there that you can get your hands on. But it's what you do with the information that helps your life. So you have to understand that I realize when I've been reading recently about quitting smoking and quitting vaping. And now I've realized some things about how people think and act in terms of this manner. And then you have to realize that things always open up for a reason. And you have to understand that you have to do something today in order for yourself to feel good so that you can actually live in the moment, so that you can actually do something that's going to help your life to succeed. And that's the whole point of life, is always to find ways to live life and to always find ways to show yourself the best kind of way. And now if you have to understand anything about life, then you have to understand that all there is to understand is your feelings. Your feelings always telling you the truest moments of life. It's always telling you exactly how you feel on a daily basis. So when you tune into your feelings, you're tuning into the present moment. And you have to understand that it's just the way it is. So you have to understand that if you realize how to grow yourself in the moment, or if you understand how to actually grow as an individual, you're going to understand how to be in your feelings, because your feelings are always showing you something about life. So you have to understand that you have to be creating things, you have to be creating your feelings, you have to be creating something about life. And when you start creating things, you start being in a state of happiness, because happiness means that you are expressing yourself in some kind of way. And when you start expressing yourself even more, you're going to feel much better. You're going to feel much better about yourself, because you're opening up to wisdom, you're opening up to a better way of life, and you're opening up to something that's going to help you grow. And now you have to understand that in my day, for example, I realize that I don't live the best life possible. You understand? But the thing is that I'm trying to live the best life. I'm trying to every single day help myself to grow. And because I grow myself as much as possible every single day, I try to be optimistic about being alone, and I try to always understand exactly what's going on in my life, so that I can understand how to move forward with everything. And that's the whole point of life. It's always understanding how to actually do things from your point of recognition and from your point of return. You have to understand that if you want to do something today that's going to help people, you're going to have to help yourself to grow as a human being in the best kind of way possible, so that you can understand how to grow as an individual. So you have to understand that there's always a way to understand life, and there's always a way to grow yourself in any kind of way that is going to help you to understand something about life. And when you understand how to grow, then you have to understand that's how you actually live life. You live life by growing, you live life by understanding something about yourself that you can understand how to actually do with. So you can understand how you need to grow as an individual, you need to grow as a person. You have to understand that when you grow as an individual, you start helping yourself even more to understand how to move forward. And every single day, you always have to understand more about life. And when you understand more about life, you have to understand that there's always a way to grow, and there's always a way to do things according to plan. And now you have to have a plan for your life. You have to be planning your life on a daily basis to live a greater life, to be able to understand much more about everything you're doing, and to understand what makes you tick, and what makes you move forward, and what makes you understand life from your point of recognition. So there's always a way to understand life, and there's always a way to move forward, but you have to understand that there's always more to do. There's always a way for you to understand much more about how you're growing. So in life, you have to do whatever it takes to succeed. You have to understand every single day, try to do the most you can, try to live the best life possible for yourself, and try to actually grow as a human being. Try to find information that's going to help you to grow in better ways, that's going to help you to think better, that's going to help you to do better in life. And that's what life is all about. It's always about understanding, and understanding how to actually understand everything about life. I mean, you have to move forward as a person. So when you move forward as a person, you can only do this by being in the feelings. And when you're in your feelings, you can understand how to move forward. So if you want to quit anything, you have to be in your feelings for it, and you have to be devoted to what you need in life. You have to be devoted to be able to understand that there's so much more in life that you can do, that there's so much more that needs to be expressed in life, so that you can understand how to move forward and live your life. So that's the whole point of being able to really dwell upon something that is going to help you move forward. But when you live life right now, when you start living really in your mindset, You're going to understand much more when you start learning, when you start growing yourself, when you start living that life that you need to live. But there's always something to talk about, and there's always something to live by in your life. So you have to always be showing integrity and showing honesty in life, because honesty and everything that you're doing in life is for a common goal and for a common reason. So you have to understand that if you're not going out somewhere and if you're not taking yourself out somewhere to really enjoy some entertainment or anything like that, you have to realize you have to be entertaining yourself all the time. And you have to understand that entertainment you can find in reading, you can find it in silence, you can find it in your feelings, you can find it in your own words, and you can find it on social media just by browsing. And you can understand much more about life when you understand how to grow yourself as a human being. But that's the whole point of living life. It's always understanding more and understanding exactly what you need to do on a daily basis to be able to succeed and to be able to move forward as a human being. But when you move forward as a human being, then you actually help other people to move forward. And you have to understand that if they're not listening to you, then just listen to yourself, listen to what you're saying, and move forward with that. And you have to realize that there is no problem in life unless you make problems. And now, if you start making problems, you have to start making lots of solutions to your problems. And you have to understand that you have to be a solutionist today. You have to be able to solve problems for yourself so you can live life on a daily basis in the best kind of way. And when you start moving forward in life, you start really helping yourself to manifest everything in terms of dreams that you can manifest, so you can understand how to live for your life, so that you move forward in every single day. And there's always more in terms of life where you can actually grow. And you have to understand that I realize the journey, I realize how it is when you pick a career and when you're just always doing that career, and not many people care about what you do and stuff like that. But you have to realize, you have to understand, you have to care about yourself, you have to care about your own way of life. You have to find ways to live, and you have to find ways to grow yourself. And when you start growing yourself as a human being, you start naturally doing something that's going to help your life to succeed in ways that grow you. And you have to understand that there's always a way to understand much more about life, as long as you're willing to grow yourself as a human being and do the best job possible for yourself so that you can understand how to live life.